I love music.
Music can be a companion, and to kids, a playmate. But in extreme doses, even favorite tunes can be our worst enemy. Loud music paired with high decibel city noises means our ears are constantly bombarded with sound. And today's kids are at most risk because even the sweetest melody with overexposure can lead to a loss of hearing. And at that point, we can only feel the vibrations and the beats.
We live in a noisy world, and sometimes from either constant noise exposure or even like a sudden noise, if it's acoustic trauma like a fireworks or something like that, our hearing could be affected.
According to the American Academy of Audiology, 1 in 8 children have noise-induced hearing loss. That means about 5 million U.S. children have an entirely preventable disability, one in which can last a lifetime.
So if it's loud enough and if you're exposed to it long enough, it's going to create sometimes a temporary shift in our hearing. But if you continue to be exposed to something like that, it's going to cause a permanent damage.
And according to Dr. Modell, director at the Children's Hearing Institute,
the most common cause of noise-induced hearing loss in children who live in a city is listening to music at loud levels.
Music makes every part of our body move in sync with the beat, even tiny hair cells deep within the inner ear. These delicate cells allow sound to be processed by the brain, and after a few hours they can fatigue, and after constant sound exposure, they can die.
True noise-induced hearing loss, that's permanent hearing loss, and that will never improve. Once the hair cells in our inner ear die, they do not grow back.
Advancing music technology now allows us to create a soundtrack to our lives through portable music players with stereo headphones. But pumping that music straight into the ear has repercussions. Audiologists Zanetta Shapiro and Allison Singleton believe the dangers are indisputable.
For kids, it's so much more than that because it becomes an educational barrier, right? You can't sit in class and listen to the teacher because you're missing half of what she's saying, and sometimes without even knowing that you're missing it because you're not hearing it. This turns into complaints of, well, your child doesn't listen in school, they have an attention problem.
But the best way to determine if a problem exists is to understand the human hearing range, and anything over 85 decibels can be dangerous.
You know, a leaf falling is something like 10 decibels, very, very soft. A rock concert or a plane taking off is around 120 decibels.
Adults might need to protect themselves from daily assault of city noise, but for children, even playtime can be dangerous. Every year, unknown to most, the National Institute of Health releases a list of dangerous toys. Toys that exceed the 85 decibel maximum.
The bigger the decibel, the louder something is. Some toys, when they were measured with noise level meters, were actually as loud as 90-95 decibels. So you really need to be careful about the toys.
And to Dr. Shapiro, parents bear the responsibility to limit exposure and prevent hearing damage.
My son loves music, and he loves listening to it when it's really hard so that he can feel the beats of it. So I monitor him. He has a little MP3 player, and I try not to put the volume up too loud.
With these concerns becoming more of a household habit and our planet increasingly more noisy, what can be done to prevent a childhood hindrance from becoming an adulthood disability?
I think that we need to educate kids to be careful about how they use the devices. You should be able to talk in a regular voice while you're wearing your MP3 player.
That it's a good idea for any child to have a hearing test. You get a physical, you might as well have a hearing test checked off.
I feel like I should make the extra effort to find out about his hearing.
I'm a little teapot,
Sabina Basine, NYFA News, New York.